Hi. Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hi, guys.
Hello. So yeah, this will be a quite small circle of people today. Perfect start to the year. Happy New Year, by the way, to everyone. I hope you all started well to 2022. And I'm glad that you can spend this early on with us, with me, and of course my colleague Zhongchan, who also joined today. Okay, we can wait maybe 2 more minutes until the last one also arrived to this call. And then, yeah. Maybe a few words to the setup. So basically, we will start with a short introduction to the team, to me, and also to Zhongchan, and then I will say a few words to the program. That's why I shared my screen and also this very short flyer. And then lastly, we can jump into the questions that you have and what we're here for. And we will also read some questions on YouTube, because this is also streamed on YouTube. I hope that's okay. But I think nobody can see the participants in this call. I think you can only see Zhongchan and me. So I think that should be good. Right, Zhongchan, people can only see us, right?
Yeah, as far as I know, we are spotlighted.
Okay, perfect. Okay, I'm actually interested. Are you all from around Germany, or do we have people from the States or some other places? Actually, Zhongchan, Zhongchan is in Spain, right? And I'm also actually in South Korea. So all right. Okay, then I guess we can start. So if you don't know me yet, my name is Max. I'm sort of responsible for this program, also one of the initiators of this program, with my team behind me, of course. And I joined Blockchain Founders Group in January 2021. Throughout the past year, I was responsible for the corporate development side of BFG, where I supported and advised the startups of 2021 cohort. We built, at the end of the year, we built 4 startups and legally found them in Germany, which is quite an achievement for us. And so we thought, okay, we should take all the learnings and just build, the next logical step, which is today's incubation program, BFG Superstars. And yeah, stay tuned. Maybe Zhongchan, you can say some words to yourself.
Yeah, thanks, Max. Hello, everyone, and also a happy new year from me. My name is Chong, and I'm a venture manager at the Blockchain Founders Group. I've recently started working there, and I've supported building up a startup that tries to abstract yields in the DeFi space. So we are calculating various key performance metrics like the Sharpe ratio or the maximum drawdowns. And right now, this startup is in the midst of being legally founded. And I think this has been a hell of a ride. And within a few months, we already had at the end a working prototype with a working front end and a back end. And this was a major learning for myself as well. Yeah, it's been fun. And with this, I hand back to you, Mac.
Yeah, okay. So let me start. So this is the slide. I hope you can see everything. Let me start with how this program works. So in this slide, you can see 6 steps. Basically, everyone starts with an application, and then at the end, we will choose around 50 people who will be admitted to the program. And then finally, these 50 people will receive some onboarding materials, how to get used to it, because the program will be done remotely and fully remotely. However, of course, we will have some events by BFG where everyone can meet up physically, but the main activities will be done remotely, also because of the reason, because some people are, not in Germany or not in one location, and therefore, we just provide you with the IT infrastructure mainly. And then very soon, and before the preparation phase, we'll team you up with a co-founder. Our principle is simple. We want a CEO on the one hand and a CTO, because it is important for any business to also rely on the partner who has the technical competences, and therefore it just makes sense to match those 2 personalities, and therefore the team size is also 2. And then very fast, we will start the actual program on February 1st, which is basically step 4, the preparation phase. And I think this is very important to remember that the preparation phase will be around 14 days. The teams will receive some cases on some blockchain cases that they can work on. And then at the end of this phase, the teams will present the first results to their case studies, and then and only then the real program starts. So you can understand the preparation phase as some sort of trial phase for you as well as for us, because at the end of the day you must be happy with the setup, you must feel comfortable, and you must also have the feeling that we're helping you. And therefore we decided to test it for 14 days. And also see if the cohort is the right for you. And then after the 14 days, that is where it gets very interesting, because then the tactical workshop starts, the best practices from our side, the company building starts, and then we will very fast and very quickly do the market sounding, do the idea creation, and then get the idea market ready, basically. And for this phase, for this phase between step 4 and step 5, we estimate it to last around 8 to 12 weeks. And within or at the end of this period, you will pitch a full-fledged idea to the investment committee of BFG, and then that's where we decide if the idea goes forward. And you can also imagine the main deliverable or the main result will be a pitch deck, will be the idea with the fully backed research, and then but no coding, no back end, no front end, just the very naked idea, and of course a good, well-researched idea, with some interviews, with some results, and maybe an MVP on frames, on wireframes. And then at the end, if we decide to commit to the idea, to your idea, then you will receive 60,000 euros to proceed with the development of the product. And then once that is done, you will be sent out to the free world, and then hopefully make some impact, make some sales, and for that you have the funding. If you need some further funding, of course that will be negotiable, and then that is basically step 6. You will be integrated to the community, where you have access to our network, and to all the other cohorts, the upcoming cohorts in the future and in the past, and again to our network. So that is roughly how it works. Until here, does anyone have already questions maybe? Or if you have questions, you can either write it in the chat directly, or you can directly say it, unmute yourself and then say it. Okay, I'll just keep on presenting, and if you have anything, just type it in the chat. Here again, the facts. Our main target areas will be anything related to DeFi, NFTs, IoT, also Lightning Network, Lightning payments, DAOs, anything that's in the news currently, basically. And we also would be happy to see some business models related to CO2 compensation, so that those are the main focus areas. Again, our target groups are entrepreneurs, people who understood the basics of blockchain technology. The duration will be 8 to 12 weeks, and at the end, you will have the chance of receiving up to 60,000 euros in funding. The compensation will start after the preparation phase. So if you mark this date, that's pretty accurate. That is basically when the compensation starts to happen. Intake size is 50 superstars per batch. We will launch 2 batches per year. And the goal is to launch or fund more than 10 blockchain startups per year, or 5 per batches. And that was, the very short presentation. If you have any more questions, you can either say it now, write me an email, connect with me on LinkedIn, or look it up on the website that is down here. Okay, so with that being said, Zhongchan, or everyone, if you have questions, please type it in the chat or unmute yourself. Or Zhongchan, you can also take a look at YouTube.
Yeah, sure. I think, just unmute yourself. Please go on.
I would like to kick off with a short question. Hi, this is Leanne. How many working hours would it require in the phase from 8 to 12 weeks, the critical phase, where we prepare the pitch deck? What's your experience on that?
Very valid question. So maybe to jump back to the timeline, we estimate that especially in the preparation phase, the 14 days, it is highly important to connect with your co-founder and get the first feeling of how we work, how the setup is. And therefore, especially for the first 14 days, we estimate a commitment of at least 25 hours. That's our recommendation, because we think that is necessary. In the past, it could work also if you work 20 hours a week, but it is quite challenging if you only have 20 hours. 25 is usually the minimum, I would say. Later, of course, if you pass this phase and you do some more on your own, then besides the mandatory workshops that we provide, that we plan, and the stand-ups that we plan, you're pretty free. So if you can manage it on your own, of course, then you can also decide how much you want to work. But usually it's always minimum 20 hours.
Okay, thank you.
All right, then we have a new question in the chat from Leopold. He's asking who owns the product of the program. So I think he's basically referring to the, I guess, equity or share distribution at the end.
Okay, so that's also a very good question. So basically, the program is owned by the future entity that is to be founded. And the future entity will, or you will own the majority of the future entity. Basically, that ranges from, I think, 85% to 94%. That is the range that belongs to the founder of the entity. That is you. Right. It depends basically on the valuation of the idea.
All right. Then we have a few more questions pasted on YouTube. One is, hi Max, are you reading the YouTube chat? He is, but also at the same time I am. And also Valerie is asking, how important is the video in the application showing the founders? We have recorded a pitch video of 3 minutes. Can we also use this?
Yes, sure. If you want to, you can also use that. That's regarding the application form, right? Yeah.
And Mike, how important do you think this video is that we require for the application? And what type of information should this video entail?
So basically, the video is quite important because it gives us the first impression of who you are. Because since it is a form, it will be hard for us to get to know the person behind it, and so the video gives us a better picture. And if we're still unclear, of course, we'll invite you to an interview in either way. So I think it helps.
Thanks, Max. And also, if you guys have any follow-up questions, just paste them to the chat or just raise your hands in the Zoom call. Also, we have another question from Mara. She's asking, in order to receive funding, is it necessary to have already a legal entity funded?
No, not necessarily. So basically, it works such that we will, at the end, if you receive the 60,000, we will help you found the legal entity either in Germany or the country that you reside in, depending, of course, on the company and the corporate strategy. Then we will found the legal entity with you, and then so your name will be in it, and then the share distribution will also be all in the contract. So you don't need to necessarily already have a legal entity. We can also just do it backtracked.
All right, I think this also goes into the same direction what Leopold has asked. He asked, what legal entity is that, and what jurisdiction? So Max, I think you have said a few words to this, but maybe if you follow up.
Yeah, so basically, for example, in Germany, it makes sense to found a GmbH usually, because that's the easiest form in Germany. But in the other DACH regions, that is quite similar. You also have, I think, some similar constructs in Liechtenstein and in Switzerland. So if you reside there, of course, we can also do the same model there. And if it's like, in the United States or somewhere in Asia, then of course we have to discuss it again, because we do not have competences there. Maybe our network has some experience there, but we as BFG, we don't and haven't founded anything in, for example, the Asian region. Therefore, we need to find it out together.
Cool. And then we have two questions from Leopold and also from Timo, which are kind of related. So they are basically asking what kind of support we can give to the participants of the program. So what support can we give them in terms of technicalities, infrastructure, or technical support in general? And also what kind of support can we give them with regards to HR, human resources, developers, website designers, and legal advice?
Also very interesting question. So in terms of IT infrastructure, or all the fields that were in the question, we basically cover each and every point of that by, by having founded already, some startups, we do know people who are experts in the fields, and therefore, for example, if you need to build a website, and that's very quickly done, we can do that within a day. If you need design materials, usually that is also done within 1 to 2 days. If you need legal advice, we can set you up with one of our advisors or a firm that we are closely connected to. Or if you take a look at our website, then you will quickly see that our external advisors are the leading law firms and tax firms that deal with blockchain laws, and so we are well connected there. And if you have any questions, relevant question regarding these topics, then we can set you up, a meeting, or of course we have some knowledge in some legal fields, and therefore we can also directly consult you there. in terms of technical support, I mean, when it comes to developing. So first of all, the teaming up part will include a CEO and a CTO, and hopefully the CTO is skilled enough, to answer roughly the technical questions. However, if we need more support, then we still have a backlog of, developers who could jump in and help out. Or if it goes to the extreme, we can also hire, an agency who could consult us there. That is all possible.
All right, great. Thanks, Max. Another question from Timo, also this time on YouTube. Do you prefer to receive applications with or without an idea? So is an idea, a pre-existing idea, a requirement for the application?
Oh, no, it's not. You can apply with an idea, without an idea, with a team or without a team. This is all basically, we will help you to establish an idea, generate an idea, but we can also help you validate your current idea. So both scenarios are very welcome to the program, and we'll do our best to support you in that sense.
Great. One more question from Leopold. Is there a non-compete clause, or participants, are they allowed to have another companies in the blockchain or tokenization sphere?
Also a very tricky question. Usually we do have a non-compete clause in the contract. However, I mean, if it's reasonable and then we can also negotiate the terms. We're not. I mean, we are quite strict, but we can always negotiate the terms. And if you're already, a CEO of a tokenization company or a blockchain company, and you want to establish another service with us or another product with us, of course, there will be clashes of interest, and therefore it makes sense to negotiate the specifics, the terms there, and we're quite open about it, I would say.
Thanks, Max. New question by Late. Is there a preference from our side regarding the blockchain DLT topic the startup should be built on? So is there a preference with regards to the ideas?
No. So again, if we jump here, this is an excerpt of the topics that we're interested in. However, for example, here, the DAO is also missing, and other fields. You can look them up on the website, but we're quite open to any innovative idea that you have in mind.
Thanks. And another question pertaining to the resources BFG has. Does BFG have any marketing resources at hand? So how can we help push the marketing side of the project, and what can we do to gain more traction or do more outreach?
Also a very interesting question. So this is regarding the launch of the product, and I mean, besides our media partners, besides our existing advisors and partner networks, we can also teach you or make you familiar with our best practices on marketing and outreach strategies, which is already quite advanced. So I mean, I cannot disclose any details, but we do have marketing teams that specialize in outreach.
Yeah, great. Sounds awesome. And with regards to the timeline, is there already a specific date set for the big pitch in front of the BFG investment committee?
Yes. So in the beginning, we estimated it might be around March 31st. That should be the goal. However, even I think it will be challenging, to establish a whole idea within 6 weeks, and therefore, I talked to my team, and I think it's possible to make it 4 weeks longer. And therefore, the final pitch, depending on your speed, of course, will be around or between March 31st and April 30th.
All right. Cool. I don't see any more questions on YouTube or on Zoom. So I call upon you guys here in the Zoom call. If you have any more questions, yeah, please feel free by all means to ask the questions here. This is a unique opportunity for you guys to clarify all things related to the BFG Superstars program. So yeah.
If not, then maybe I can say a couple more words to the question with the marketing push. I think those are all very valid questions, but I want to stress that at the end of the day, we believe in intrinsic motivation and intrinsic drive. So we can help you with our best practices on marketing outreach. It will most likely work. We saw it in our own projects. But at the end of the day, it's all dependent on the entrepreneur. So we can give you the tools, we can give you the best practices, but you, the entrepreneur, must be self-driven. They must be motivated and take initiative to get started. Ask the right questions. Be creative when it comes to outreach. Be creative when it comes to lead generation and all sorts of tactics. And we're quite open, to set up big gatherings of all our experts and then discuss, what to do, what's best move in any certain case. So at the end, it's all dependent on the entrepreneur, I think, but we can help. Yeah. All right, then 4 more minutes.
Yeah.
Actually, I see a question on YouTube, right? If we apply as a team, do both team members have to apply separately or only one team member? In that case, you can apply once and then, but imply that there's a team member. Then we know already that that there are 2 people applying.
Maybe I have one more question that I received via LinkedIn. How important is location, or is it important at all? Can you maybe say a few words on that?
Yeah, sure. So again, if you also take a look at our advisors, our team members, you will quickly realize that they're all in the DACH region, meaning around Germany, around Austria, Switzerland, Luxembourg, and Liechtenstein. And so, of course, our main competence is within Central Europe. And so we can support European ideas better. However, we still do not discriminate between any location. So, even myself, I'm located in South Korea, so I would very welcome people from South Korea to, start any idea, and that is highly supported. So, but the question is only, how far can we support you? Even though, maybe our advisors are all in Europe, maybe they have a network in Asia, and then we would, plan together and help you the best that we can.
Yeah, awesome, Max. I think I don't see any more questions on either YouTube or Zoom, and we are actually perfect on time. So we might take one or 2 more questions from you guys. So please feel free to use this opportunity. There are no wrong questions here.
Okay. Or if you don't, if you have questions at a later point, you can always text me via LinkedIn or email.
Yeah. Oh, there's one more question from Chao. Very interesting questions. Question: what if I don't want to receive compensation?
That is a interesting question. The first time asking this question. Of course, I think that is possible. However, we would most likely insist on a compensation in some way. that would be, in our opinion, the fairest option. Also, we don't believe in free work, so so therefore, I think compensation is quite necessary. But if you insist on not taking it, then we can discuss it. Maybe that's a special case. All right, then. Thanks for joining. If you have any more questions, feel free to hit me up or Zhongchan. And yeah, with that being said, thanks for joining, and hope to see some faces again in the application phase. Until then, have a good start to the year. Thank you.
Guys. Thanks for joining.
See ya.
Thank you.